Hi girls, we're back again to weight. We started on it yesterday and we learned yesterday all about kilograms and grams. We learned yesterday that one bag of sugar weighs 1 kilogram. We learned that we can write kilograms as kg. We also learned about grams and we learned that one Smartie weighs about 1 gram and that there are 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. Now it's also important to note that just because something is large doesn't mean that it is definitely heavy. Sometimes large things can be quite light and sometimes very small things can be quite heavy. I'm sure you've been surprised before lifting up something very small and suddenly realising that, wow, this is really heavy. Or likewise picking up something quite large and saying, wow, this is really light. So the size of something doesn't really necessarily mean that it's going to be either light or heavy. Now, down below here it says the following items each weigh around 1 kilogram. So we have a bag of sugar. You can buy sometimes potatoes as a kilo. Next we have popcorn. Popcorn is usually light, so we'd need quite a lot of popcorn to weigh a kilo. And then finally we have cotton wool, which we know is very, very light, and we'd need quite a lot of packets of cotton wool to weigh 1 kilo. Now your first task today is an exercise here in this book. Now it says we use kilograms to measure the weight of heavy things and grams to measure the weight of light things. So all I want you to do now in your head, okay, orally, which unit of measurement would you use for the following items? So I'm going to read it out and I'll give you a little bit of time to decide. So a bag of potatoes, would you use kilograms or grams? Yes, you'd use kilograms because a bag of potatoes can be quite heavy. Number 2, an apple, would you use kilograms or grams? Of course you'd use grams because an apple is quite small and it's quite light, so you'd use grams. Cheese. Now you'd use grams for cheese as well. Think of a regular block, you'd use grams. Number 4, a bag of coal. Now, a bag of coal is a heavy item, so of course you're right, you'd use kilograms. Cornflakes. Very good. Cornflakes usually come in a big box and they look like they're going to weigh a lot, but they're actually measured mainly in grams. Your history book. Measured in grams as well. A loaf of bread. Also measured in grams. And a chicken. Now I'll take for this kilograms or grams because you can have a small chicken that'll be measured in grams, or sometimes you can get kind of larger chickens that'll be measured in kilograms. So well done everybody. Now attached to your dojo we have some questions here and we have some items with the weight on them. So in your copies I just want you to jot down the answers to these questions. So we have tea, which is 200 grams. We have butter, which is 500 grams, which is also the same as half a kilo. We have bread, 300 grams. Biscuits, 400 grams. Jam, 400 grams. And cornflakes, 350 grams. So these are the questions I want you to do. Which item is the heaviest? Write it down. Which item is the lightest? You write that down. Then what is the difference in weight between the heaviest and the lightest? So remember, when you're finding the difference between numbers, you subtract them. Number 4, which is the biggest item? So this is nothing to do with weight. It's which one looks the biggest. Number 5, which is the smallest item? So pick out which one you think is the smallest looking. Number 6, is the biggest item the heaviest? And number 7, is the smallest item the lightest? So get those done and jot them down and send them off to me. Thank you very much, girls.